Hi. First of all, I need to thank the NIBM, especially the management of the NIBM, National Institute of Business Management, for giving me this opportunity as an alumni to share the joy of NIBM's service to the nation for the last 52 years. More than half a century, NIBM has been providing its services to the nation, especially as a premier education institute, shaping the lives of many young people. My association goes back to 1997. That was, of course, when I was a university student. I visited the NIBM to meet one of the consultants here who happened to be an award-winning author. By the time I came here, NIBM was, of course, a first-generation education institute with ordinary chairs, ordinary classrooms, ordinary teachers. When I joined the NIBM as a visiting faculty, that was around 2005, after 8 or 9 years of my first visit, I found NIBM has transformed a lot. And it has, from the first generation institute I saw, it has come over to a second generation institute with a lot of attractive features, particularly trying to incorporate technology with its day-to-day work. Today, when we see, after 52 years, we see NIBM is trying its best to match the institute's services with the needs of the industry 4.0. And to match the needs with the industry 4.0, we have to understand the realities of industry 4.0 and then bring the education to the next level, that is education 4.0. Especially, we have to discuss these aspects with our younger generation because we have faced a different world within a very short period, like 1 year. As we all can remember, until March 2020, the world was normal. And immediately after that, with the global pandemic, we have faced a very different situation. The world has become completely different. All the realities we enjoyed before March 2020 are no longer there with us. So, as education institutes, we had to transform ourselves a lot. As teachers, we had to transform ourselves because this new situation, particularly the situation we call new normal, and the interval we have been given by the nature for nearly 1 year, we've been reflecting on what we've been doing, particularly in terms of education and in terms of development. We know before 2020, we were discussing these concepts like education 4.0, fourth industrial revolution, powered by technology, especially artificial intelligence, robotics, and then we have these concepts like cryptocurrency and 3D printing. Many of these new concepts were there. Of course, they were the discussion points for the educationists all over the world. And in Sri Lanka also, we were discussing these defining features of fourth industrial revolution. But I doubt whether we really meant what we discussed. Now there is a time for us to think deeply of these things and to adjust our priorities, particularly our priorities in education accordingly. Because nothing happened by choice. We did not choose to be in a technologically advanced world. This is inevitable. This inevitable nature of development, I think we have to manage. When managing the inevitable nature of the advancement of technology, the first requirement is we have to be aware of this. We have to be aware of what is happening around us and what is happening elsewhere in the world. And we have to adjust our practices, we have to adjust our attitudes, and we have to gain the skills to keep pace with the rest of the world, especially in a country like Sri Lanka, where there are only 21 or 22 million people compared to the world population, which is 7 billion plus people. This is a very insignificant number. But when it comes to the contribution of the younger generation or the Sri Lankan population, total Sri Lankan population in the course of development, national development, and I want to highlight the fact sustainable national development, because this is a small country, and in terms of resources, in terms of opportunities, we are very much limited. And when it comes to the place where we live in this universe, I've been always referring to this famous idea of lonely blue dot. This planet is the only place where there is life as far as we know. And there is no other place for us to, however much space science and the technology and all these areas they have developed, the advancement is very, very high. Still, there is no other place. We haven't found another place to live. So within this lonely blue dot, we have to struggle. This struggle, if it creates harmful effects or harmful results, definitely we will perish. So when we struggle or when we compete for the opportunities with the rest of the world, we have to understand what the limits are and how we should change, because the change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. Change happens anyhow, and we have to face the change. We have to face the change positively. Let's take a few examples. Some of the careers, some of the job opportunities we had 10 years ago, they are no longer important because of the advancement of technology. And we have seen, while some of the jobs becoming obsolete, we have seen new jobs are being created every moment. If I take the examples like social media coordinators. We didn't have social media coordinators in 1990s. But now, in the new millennium, we have social media coordinators. That is only one example. So, as young people, we should be able to educate ourselves on these aspects of the world, how the world changes and how education changes. Let me bring another example. Before the global pandemic hit the world, before say March 2020, we were happily inside the class. We used to go to the college every day. We were very happy there. We had our friends and we did not maintain distance. And today there is a time we can't shake hand with friends. But just imagine, just picture the times we had before the global pandemic. We were inside the classroom, we enjoyed our lives, we had our social life, we had our nightlife. But now we are restricted and we can't go to the school, we can't go to the college. But we have to go forward, we have to complete our education, we have to contribute to the national development, we have to contribute to the sustainable development of the globe. And there are these 17 sustainable development goals waiting for us. And we can't waste any time. We can't waste even a second, because when we fail to achieve the Millennium Development Goals in 2015, we had created enough damage to the world. Now, we have 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which starts with poverty and ends up with cooperation or collaboration. And in between, we have many others like life underwater, life on earth, green energy. All these goals, why these goals are there is they are the results of human activities. So, coming back to what I was discussing, the fact that we are being isolated, we are being trapped inside our own houses, our own homes, is not an excuse for any of us to stop what we have been doing. So came the other platforms like Zoom, Meets, GoToMeeting, many platforms, man-made platforms, to bring us closer again. And those who got used to these platforms without hesitation, they are going ahead with their day-to-day work. Now again, we can have social contacts, even though we don't feel each other, we don't shake hands with each other. You can talk to your friends, you can share knowledge with your friends, you can do group work inside your classroom. But the problem is whether we all are ready to face this reality. That is our mindset. What will happen is, if we are not ready to face this reality and if we are not ready to change ourselves, we will not be able to keep pace with the rest of the world. That is my greatest worry. We as a nation, now, there are many complaints coming, like connectivity and the lack of digital devices, and lack of digital literacy. And we complain that in our country, only 30% of people are digitally literate. These are not valid reasons. If people are not digitally literate, what we have to do is those who are digitally literate, we have to get together, we have to team up to make the fellow citizens, to make the fellow citizens digitally literate. That is our responsibility. Especially the generation Z, the digital natives have to help the digital migrants to achieve the skills necessary for the new world. So, the responsibility of the digital natives in our world, of our times, is to work hard to create a world that is not digitally divided. And we say one of the greatest problems we have today to achieve the realities of fourth industrial revolution or industry 4.0 is this digital divide, because as I have already mentioned, these uh, defining features: artificial intelligence, then robotics, internet security, cryptocurrency or blockchain, and many other features of this fourth industrial revolution. If we are to make use of these features to the maximum, first requirement is to make a country that is not digitally divided. To create a country that is not digitally divided, the young people have have a great responsibility. The greatest responsibility to create a country that is not digitally divided lies on the shoulders of the young people of this country and the educationists and the education institutes of this country. Because first, I think we have to have a kind of a self evaluation of ourselves. If you belong to uh, if you belong to the student community, you have to evaluate yourself. You have to do a self evaluation and find where you are in terms of technology, in terms of the needs of the industry 4.0 and education 4.0. Why we need education 4.0 ready students is because the industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, is there waiting for us. And once we finish our education, once you go out of the college, you step into a world that is driven by the, the features of industry 4.0. And if you are not aware of these realities, and if you are not equipped with the necessary skills to face the realities of the fourth industrial revolution that is happening outside the school, happening outside the college, then there will be a mismatch. This mismatch will create a lot of problems. And I don't emphasize only the technical aspects. In the era of education 4.0 and industry 4.0, there are many other requirements. It is not only the technological advancement and requirements to keep pace with the technology, emerging technologies. There are others like soft skills. What I have been telling so far, they belong to the hard part of it, hard skills. and you're being able to manipulate data, you're being able to handle a computer, you're being able to do programming, all these things, all those skills, they come under the hard skills. And the soft skills that makes you a perfect match with the requirements of the new world, they're also very, very important. Being able to communicate well, effective communication, and being able to have relationships, effective relationships with others, and being able to make decisions, being able to think critically, being able to act creatively, being able to be innovative. They are also an essential part of the new life. If you're not a good communicator, if you don't think critically, if you don't think analytically, if you don't act creatively, the new world filled with technology will not accept you. That is the bitter reality. So, in the era of education 4.0, we have to maintain the balance between both the hard skills and the soft skills. When the technology comes into the college, we can't forget the soft skills, and we can't ask the soft skills to leave us. If you take a very advanced and a developed education system like Singapore, though it is a very small country, we know Singapore is a developed country, a highly developed country, and their per capita income is very high, and they of course they belong to the segment we identify as the first world, or the developed world. And when we analyze the education system, we find that they are trying their best to enter and to keep pace with the realities of the fourth industrial revolution. And at the same time, they have character and citizenship as the core of their curriculum, especially in their school curriculum. They have character and citizenship as the core, and they value the character, they value the citizenship. So I have brought three aspects now. One is the technology that empowers the world and that drives the world. Now, many of us, for example, are here as an alumni of the NIBM, and I'm here who has witnessed the transformation of the institute along with the transformation of the world. Now, we belong to a generation who have seen the real transformation of the world from the 20th century to the 21st century. And we have seen a world without the television, and at least a country without the television. We have seen a country without the smartphone, actually, a world without the smartphone. And there was a time where even the land phone, the telephone, the traditional telephone was a luxury. And then we witnessed the mobile phone, the first generation mobile phones. And now we see the smartphone, which can help you keep in touch with the entire world. It is not only for the purpose of making telephone calls today. You can send your emails, you can check your account balance, you can make transactions, you can uh, download things, you can join your online class using your mobile device, the smart device. You can face your examinations, you can do your assignments, you can do your projects. Anything is possible. Right? We have witnessed this transform just over a period of, let's say, 30 years, less than 30 years. And that's why I say that we have a world where we still have these tech natives and tech migrants. The generation that witnessed this transformation, they had to migrate themselves from the technology zero world to the technology plus world. And those who are born to this world, those who are born to this world, which is tech plus, they are the natives, tech natives. So again, coming back to this point, right? The tech natives cannot avoid technology, and at the same time, they cannot avoid the good part of life as well. Technology alone will not help us, but we have to blend technology with soft skills, hard skills with soft skills, and then character and citizenship. Because at the end of the day, we are going to be global citizens. We have a world waiting outside, and we have to be performing in that world. When we perform in that world, the basic things will be, apart from your technology skills, apart from your tech skills, right? Your soft skills, as I have already explained, you're being able to communicate well. You're being able to have interpersonal relationships. You're being able to think critically and creatively, and your innovative nature. All these things matter. The citizen we need for the tomorrow's world is somebody who has all these aspects within life. So achieving this full citizenship, that's how I want to put it. Full citizenship in the world. A global citizen is a full citizen. A global citizen is a full citizen who has blended all these aspects in life, and who has the potential to create a new world which is sustainable. That is the citizen we need. So, as young undergraduates, you have to have, we have to have our targets ready. And our targets should be clear. And there is no time for us to get distracted from our targets, because the world is running so fast, and the technological advancement and the expansion of knowledge is so great. And there was a time, perhaps you can remember, that the teacher was considered the giver of knowledge, because teacher had all the knowledge, and we went to the classroom, we were in the classroom to get knowledge from the teacher. But in today's context, it's completely different. When you go to the class, when you enter your digital classroom, your virtual classroom, you know everything that your teacher knows because you both have access to the same platform. You both have access to the same platform, and what you know is known by the teacher, and the teacher knows that you know everything she or he knows. So this concept of teacher knowing what the students know and the students knowing what the teacher knows. Right? This is something that we haven't experienced before. Now we have to face this reality and think of the responsibility of this new situation and what is the relevance of this new situation in education. Or in education 4.0, we have this fantastic concept called co-creation. Teachers and students join hands to become co-creators. They create new knowledge, they team up and create new knowledge based on what they already know. So, this new reality, we have to face this new reality and we have to be ready. Both teachers and students will have to be ready. As teachers, we can't complain about, about students knowing the same amount of things the teachers know. As students, we can't keep on boasting that we know what the teachers know because that is the normal situation. Like the new normal we are facing, that is the normal situation in the present day education. That is the normal situation in education 4.0. So being first of all, we have to be happy that the teachers know the same amount of things the students know, and the students know that the teachers know what exactly they know. And we have to come to a very good understanding and bring these together and co-create new things. So the schools or the new classrooms should become places of innovation. They should no longer be the places where there is one-way transmission from teacher to the student. No, it has to be a different situation now. The classroom should be, whether it is the school, college, university, or postgraduate, the classroom should be a place where there is new inventions and where there is innovations happening, where there is a lot of creativity and the blend of creativity from the student and the teacher, they create the new world. So that creates the new jobs, the new job opportunities, new avenues, which we have never thought would happen, would exist. Facing this reality is the most important thing. Understanding this reality and facing that reality and accepting this reality is the most important thing of our times. And particularly when it comes to a new situation, we have to be aware of that new situation first. There are three things. First, we have to be aware of the new situation. We have to accept the new situation and we have to live the new situation. Those are the three most important requirements to face the new world. We have to know it, we have to be aware of it, we have to accept it, then we have to live that with respect. So, as young people our responsibility today is to first understand what the new situation, what the new world is like, what are the features of this new world, and then to accept that as our life. And without killing the human being we have within us, we have to live the new situation. So that's why I took this example of Singaporean education, where they have character and citizenship in the core. That is the core. That is the most important thing. So let's take this lesson. Let's identify the realities, let's accept them, let's live them, and let's face the new world together, the new challenges. COVID 19 is not the end of the story. There will be new challenges coming in. Right? There are many other challenges waiting for us. So we have to be ready. We should be able to foresee these, and we have to be proactive, and we should be able to picture ourselves, picture the world, picture the human being beyond 21st century. Now we have this slogan all the time: education for 21st century, development for 21st century. But what I understand is we should be able to imagine the world, picture the world beyond 21st century, because then only we will be able to achieve sustainability. And as I have always been telling, the lonely blue dot is still lonely, and we haven't found a companion. So beyond 21st century, things will be different. Things will be more difficult sometimes, and there will be new challenges coming in. And as the human race, we have to get together, we have to team up, and as young people, we have to team up, find solutions to the things that, the challenges that would come in the future. That's my message to you as an alumni of NIBM, as a teacher who started my career with adult learners. I was a school teacher for many years, and then I changed my life, my career, from this simple school teacher to a teacher who uh, who would teach adults. And the NIBM is the place where I started that. And we were given those opportunities to test the new or innovative things in the education 2.0 when I first joined the NIBM. I can remember using the internet inside the classroom, using emails inside the classroom, because we didn't have these digital platforms like WhatsApp and Zoom and Teams meeting, nothing. But we used simple things like the emails. Right? We use Web 1.0 to bring the classroom to Education 2.0, and this is a place that gives many opportunities for students as well as teachers to be innovative. So I like for being, because I love it still, that I got that opportunity at the beginning of my career as a teacher with adult learners to test my potential, to test my creativity, which gave me wings at the end of the day to see where I am today. Thank you. Thank you very much.